something actually pivotal. And I say this because I've been there. One, as an HR manager. Two, as a talent. When we've searched for that job, oh my God, you've done like 73 interviews. Or you've interviewed with 800 companies like my friend Destiny. I finally get that one offer. You don't even read through. You just see, me, I used to write article, congratulations. We are delighted to offer you. I'm like, yeah, my mother's prayers be answered. Hello, everybody. Super delighted to be here. I feel like I now enjoy doing this. Omo. Wow. Who would have thought? Okay, I hope you enjoyed my last video. Today we'll be discussing something, this may not try to say interesting, something actually pivotal. And I say this because I've been there. One, as an HR manager. Two, as a talent. When we've searched for that job, oh my God, you've done like 73 interviews. Or you've interviewed with 800 companies like my friend Destiny. I finally get that one offer. You don't even read through. You just see, me, I used to write article, congratulations. We are delighted to offer you. I'm like, yeah, my mother's prayers be answered. I just signed it. You don't give it to your lawyer friend. Some of you don't even have lawyer. You don't give it to your lawyer friend. You don't give it to your HR friend, which is one of the services we offer at Luminous Consults. Please patronize us. So you don't give it to an HR, you don't give it to a lawyer, you're just excited that finally you locked down that job and then you signed the offer. Boom! And then when you now pick up the role, maybe you see a clause, maybe a termination clause or an NDA, or you hear in a meeting when someone come and say, oh, you can't work with a competitor, and you're like, oh, I did not see that one in my contract though, but then you open the contract and it has been there. So today, we are talking about things you should watch out for before signing that job offer. The first thing is, what is the work duration? Do you work 9 to 5? Do you work 8 to 8? Is it a shift job? Is it a rotational job? I know that in Nigeria, we are not very exposed to a lot. I know that some companies run that. For example, I think that there are companies that run flexi time. Okay, I'm talking about the next point already. But it's very important that you know the duration of the job. Why? Because so that you're not picking your bag at 5 p.m. and someone is saying, where are you going? That happened a lot when I was a tax trainee. And then right there in the contract, they pulled off, one of the partners just showed the contract and said, have you guys seen this in your contract before? If you have, leave a comment. Where the contract says, oh, you work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. However, you can be summoned upon to work on weekends and extra hours. Do you know that I feel like every Nigerian company add that to their contract. In fact, pause this video, go and check your last contract. I'm very sure you see it there. That means that if that is already documented and you signed it, that means that your company can ask you to come to work on Saturday. And if you drag them on Twitter, they can sue you for slander or libel, right? But you didn't even pay attention because you didn't read your contract. So it's very important. What's the work hours? Is it 9 to 5? Is it 9 to 9? Is it rotation? And I keep saying this because, okay, I will explain why I keep saying this in my next point, which is, so the first one is, what's the duration, right? The second one is, what's the location and timing? This is what I mean. One, is it hybrid? Is it remote? To what degree is it hybrid? So when I'm interviewing candidates, for instance, so I run numerous consults and I manage recruitment processes for some startups. And when I'm interviewing, candidates ask me, is it really remote? Is it hybrid? One thing that they don't ask, I take it a step further to explain, is to what percentage is hybrid? For instance, practical stuff. I'm in Lagos, so if you're watching this from outside Lagos, yeah, just giving context. You stay at, let me pick a nice place. You stay at Magodo GRA or Gudu GRA, right? And then the office is at Lekki Phase 2. And they say, oh, it's hybrid. But the hybrid is 4 days in the office and 1 day at home. My brother, my sister, is that one still hybrid? Versus one where it's hybrid, but it's 40% hybrid. That means that there is 2 days in the office and 3 days at home. Trust me, you're not going through the same mental, let's even forget money. You're not going through the same mental stress. Either you drive or you take public transport or you take hail riders like I do. It's not the same stress, it's not the same physical demands. For example, if you're a nursing mother, or say you take your daughter to school and everything, the mental calculation that you will do for a job that requires you 2 days in the office is totally different from the one that you do that requires 4 days in the office. Are they both hybrid? Yes. But to what degree is the hybrid? A quick, is it appellation now? A quick appellation to that is, does this job require me to travel? Some companies disclose it. Shout out to these companies. They disclose it enough that, hey, this job will require you to travel. But some companies don't, actually. until you get in and you realize that today you are in Zamfara, next tomorrow you are in Kano, next you are in Abuja, next you are in Accra, next you are in Dhaka. At least, if it's international trip, at least you'll be able to stamp your passport, Abi, and it will help your visa when you apply for visa. Sometimes it's local trips, right? I remember there was one of my acquaintances that got a job. It was a marketing manager job. Very interesting stuff, not sales, not client facing, marketing. And it was not even a marketing like bank kind of marketing, it was marketing like digital marketing. Guess what? Because the company she was working with was, they're in distribution, right? So they manage food. I don't want to mention them on food, retail, raw supply kind of thing. And they had 3 branches in the southwest and then 2 branches in the north. In a month, my friend can go to Kano, Kaduna, Katsina, Abuja, Oshogbo, Akure, Lagos. I mean, our flights to Kano were very interesting because at least you can take flight to Kano, take flight to Abuja. But road trips, even if you do Lagos to Ibadan, you still have to enter a car in Ibadan to Ife or Osun because there's no airport in Osun. Sorry, Governor Adeleke, right? So it's very important. Like, read through these things. Okay, I've talked a lot about location. Next, you already know I like money by now. I'm very sure my friends will be very happy because there was a time in my life when I don't used to like money. Can you imagine? Shout out to Michael and all my friends that forced me to like money. Compensations and benefits. So during the interview, you've agreed though that my salary is 1 million naira net. You are not seeing offer, and sorry, I'm an HR, so I know. VHRs can write very interesting things. And sometimes it's not even their directive, it is the boss directive. I've been in a kind of scenario like that very recently. So we've discussed the 1 million naira net, and then you see your offer breakdown. You now see they put one, they first use annual salary, they use that one to confuse you. 15 million 870, it always ends with kobo. 879 kobo. Now see breakdown, basic, housing, rent. What you are looking for is the net pay, the one that you take home, the one at the end. Don't be bamboozled by 80 million, something annum. In fact, I want to shade some people. I see it on Twitter every day. People that they put job description like 30 million annum per annum. 8 million per annum. I remember someone trying to pitch me for a role. It was around the time that I put out that video that, I'm looking for a job. So they now sent it to me. They now said, I think what annoyed them was the fact that it was in dollars. They now said, dollars was not this stupid, by the way, but then dollar is not stupid. Dollar is nice. Naira was not this stupid, yes. So, Naira was not this valuable. This valuable, my English is hard. You shall understand what I'm trying to say. Like the value of Naira had not reduced this much. So I can't remember the amount anymore. But by the time I converted it, it was like 9.6 million gross. I'm like, why couldn't you have just written 9.6 million in my DM? Why are you writing $4,000 or $5,000? Do you think that dollars will shock me at this age of my career? No. So, I mean, I was able to like ask those questions, break down. Some people will not. They'll just say, oh my God, $4,000. They will just jump at it. But $4,000 per annum for a role that requires 8 to 10 years experience, that's cheating. So it's very important that you pay attention to compensation. I've talked through salary. What are the other things? I will link my video on compensation and benefit below. I don't want to go through that. So you can go and watch that if you're looking to learn a lot more about compensation and benefits. But there are a lot of benefits. And if you've negotiated these things at the interview stage, you should ensure that they are present in your offer letter. Okay, you already know I like money. Enough of money. Next is probation period. What's the probation period? The average probation period in Nigeria and a lot of countries in Africa, because I've managed, employment contracts in Ghana, South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda. How much I've tried to? It's an average of 3 months, but I've seen that some people do 2 months and some people do 6 months. So one is, what is the probation period? That's one. Two, and maybe I will talk about termination clause next. What is the process of exit within the probation period? So I know I can speak extensively on Nigeria and Ghana, that in Nigeria, when you have the probation period is 3 months, either parties can quit with a 2 weeks notice versus the 1 month notice that you would normally give. That means that during probation, and like someone said, maybe I would talk about that in another video entirely, as they are doing probation for you, you're also doing probation for them. So within that period, you can quit with a 2 weeks notice. So watch out. How long is the probation period and what does it take to quit? Which leads me to my next point, termination clause. It is very, very important. I'll say that gently and softly so that we enter your brain. It is very, very important that you read through what the termination process look like. Hey, you will not see court wala. So, what is the process of termination? If they say 1 month notice, I've also explained what it means to give a notice in lieu. What is notice period? There's another video on that. I think I will also link it. So, if they say, for example, that to leave my company, you can only leave 1 month in lieu. So it means that if you're resigning, if you're leaving, I'm shooting this video today, August 10. If I'm quitting my job I plan to quit my job September 12th. That means by Monday, August 12th, I need to resign. I need to tender my resignation letter. Trust me, if you do it on Tuesday, and these are cases that's happened, the company can say it wasn't 1 month. Another thing that I learned, I'm not sure that a lot of Nigerian companies do this, is what is the definition of month? That's another level. I was almost in the legal battle last year, and the case is, what is the definition? So when I say 3 months, is 3 months equal to 90 days? Because in law, it is not. In law, 3 months is actually different from 90 days. I'm very sure that my lawyer friends are probably watching this and laughing right now. Yeah, so it's very important. What is the termination process so that you do not get into trouble while you're trying to create a job? Next is also sort of following what has dispute resolution. So some company, I don't think that a lot of Nigerian companies add this. I know multinationals do, but I'm not sure that startups, private companies, I've not seen a lot of it. But you should also watch out in case they have it. So what is the dispute resolution? Some people, for example, I know a lot of Lagos clauses that I've seen say, oh, we take it to the ADL. ADL is Alternative Dispute Resolution. I think that there is an ADL office at Lagos High Court. Some people go to Nigeria Industrial Court, NIC. I don't know if it's Nigeria or National, but yeah, NIC. So what's the process of dispute resolution? Because, things might come up during the contract. How do we resolve it? Do we go the legal? Do we want to go the litigation way? Emmanuel Fetola, no, it's not me in Jesus' name. Jackson Jola versus Coca-Cola. There are a lot of, one of the things I used to do for fun is to just Google industrial cases. I feel like if you're an HR person watching this, or you're a labor lawyer, you should do that. Yes. So how do we solve the disputes that might come from this contract? Okay, so next is non-compete and non-disclosure agreements. You people, let me adjust. Because I'm very sure that you've seen this in your contract. There is no how. Like, even if you're a one-man business, I feel like that's one clause that Nigerian employers always add. Non-compete, non-disclosure. There's a difference between both, and I will explain. Non-compete agreement literally means, like the name, non-compete. You cannot work with a competitor. However, they used to add a clause. So they can say you cannot work with a competitor for 1 year, or you cannot work with a competitor for 6 months, or you can't work with a competitor for 2 years. And I think that I've explained the reason why in one of my videos. I did a video on 20 HR terms. In that video, I talked about a concept called garden leave, garden, GARDEN, where people resign from a work, but they don't quit the job. They are still on the payroll. The whole idea of non-compete is to ensure that you do not accidentally transfer some IP knowledge. You might even do it. You might not do it intentionally, to be honest. You might do it innocuously. It might just drop up in a conversation. So they want to ensure that things are protected. That's non-compete. Now, non-disclosure is less stringent, but I think more dangerous. I will explain why. So non-disclosure agreement literally means that if you work with a company and you go to a competitor or anywhere really, you cannot disclose the things that are peculiar to this. I'm going to be as practical as possible. So if you work with Carrywise as a product developer, product manager, right? And then you move to Piggyvest, right? Non-disclosure means that you cannot share the ideas that you worked on at Carrywise, at Piggyvest. Which is why I think is more dangerous, because how do you, of course, I'm not a labor lawyer, so I'm very sure there is a way to define that. So how do you define, how do you know what you should share, what should not share, what is the exclusive IP, what is not exclusive IP? So I actually prefer the first one. People think, maybe I should ask you, so for my explanation, which one do you think? Which one do you think is better? Is it non-compete or non-disclosure? Like, I would really love to get your comments. I think that non-compete is better. Non-compete seems harder because you are literally limiting the places that I can apply to. But I think that because most non-compete, depending on how lucrative the contract is, are not often more than 1 year. In the manufacturing space, in the olden days, like 1980s, 1990s, sometimes it's always up to 2 years. However, they also pay you a sign-off bonus. So they pay you a money enough. For example, then if you're an executive at GE, as I heard, they pay you like 1 year salary when you're leaving. No jokes. So that compensation is sort of enough for you to consider not working with a competitor, right? But I'm not sure that they do that anymore. But I think I like the idea of non-compete because yes, it's hard. You say I should not work with a competitor, but it also guides me because I'm not working with the competitor anyway, so I cannot share ideas. Versus non-disclosure, where, man, I don't know. I don't want to say things that I am not very sure of. But I would love to hear your thoughts. Which one do you think which one is better and which one is more stringent? I think that non-compete is more stringent, but it's better. I would rather do non-compete than non-disclosure. Anyway, the bottom line is you have to check. Please read your contract. Read is it non-compete? Is it non-disclosure? Some people combine both. Is it both? It's very, very important so that you don't get sued. We're almost done. Now, this one is what some of you might have expected for me to put first. I intentionally put it last because this Nigeria, and anywhere really, is job description and responsibilities. So you've done interviews, you've had like 3 rounds of interviews, you've done tests, they've given you offer letter, you're excited to see it. But the things that they wrote that you'll be doing in that contract, are they the things that they said during the interview? And it's really dicey because, especially now that a lot of rules are coming up, there are different nomenclatures for different kind of things. I've seen people say, oh, what is a growth marketing manager? What's the difference between marketing manager and product marketing manager? So there's a lot of debates around the nuances of what should be done. But guess what concerns you? Is it the things that we talked about during the interview? Is it the things that you said I will be doing that I will be doing? That is very important. I'm very sure that there are a lot of other things, but again, I wanted to keep this very short. So remember, before you share that contract, before you sign that job offer, first, what's the location? Where is the location? Is it hybrid? Is it remote? To what extent will I travel? What is the work hours? Am I working 9 to 5? Am I working 9 to 9? Which of these am I doing? Compensation and benefits. I have a video on that. Are the things that they highlighted that they will pay me? Is that what they are paying me? What are the other bonuses? And guys, you can negotiate. Always remember that. We've had contracts before where we interview and the person come on board and the person says, oh, sorry, I didn't negotiate this, but my last company, they paid me 13% annual leave, so I want 13 salary. You must pay me 13 salary. No jokes. It has happened a lot of time. And because we wanted that talent, we literally changed the corporate policy. No jokes, guys. Right? So always know that you can also negotiate upward. You can still change things at the offer stage. Right? In fact, I feel like, between me and you, don't share it with anybody. I feel like at the offer stage, you have a lot of power. Because the company has gone through the recruitment process and they fund you. And then, I did not say that too. But I feel like there's a level of negotiation power that you actually have at the offer stage. But anyway, that's the about compensation and benefits. What's the non-disclosure? What's the non-agreement? Yeah, non-compete agreement, non-disclosure. What did they say about termination? What does probation say? And then very, very importantly, is it the things that we discussed that I will be doing during the interview? Are those the things that I highlighted in my offer letter? Please do not sign what you do not understand. If you need help, reach out to your HR friend, reach out to your lawyer friend, or reach out to Luminous Consults. These are one of the offers one of our offerings, and we will review your offer for a token. Maybe I should brag here. I have helped people review offers and got them a lot of raise. There was still someone very recently that got a 20% increase in raise just because I helped her review her offer. I saw some gaps. I told her about it. We wrote an email to the hiring manager. She also asked for an increase because there was a total difference between the job description that was negotiated at the interview and a job description that was on the offer letter. So we gave them 2 options: either change the job description back to what we agreed or increase my pay. And she got a 20% increase in pay. I don't want to tell you how much that is. So if you want to review your contract, you want to review your offers, you can send a DM to Luminous Consult on Twitter, or send a DM to me, or find me on LinkedIn, Emmanuel Faith, or just leave a comment, or send an email, hello Emmanuel Faith, or enquiries.luminousconsult@gmail.com. Always remember to read your offer at least 5 times. And then if you have lawyer friends or HR managers, share your offer with them to ensure that you do not sign what will put you in trouble. So the next time I pop up on your screen, please, this is where I need them. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share with your community. Share with your church members. Share with your enemies, share with your friends, share with your classmates. Till my next video, I remain your favorite HR body, Emmanuel Faith. Bye.